Welcome in, Falcons fans, to our mailbag episode here on our live show, which airs every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you put your Falcons questions below if you're watching during our live show, or if you just want to have your next question answered on our next mailbag. Speaking of which, let's get in. $20 super chat from Pinky. He says, London plays, Mooney plays, get a turnover or two and get the goddamn play action going and you can win. Rise up, and make the dang field goals. Pinky, you are absolutely correct. If you could summarize exactly what you wanted to see here in week 2, that would be exactly it. Your $20 is definitely appreciated, my friends, and rise up, go Dirty Birds. Archangel coming in. McCarthy can't run like Baker can, and that's what really hurt and killed us. The Vikings got weapons, but so did the Bucs. McCarthy and them are missing Addison. Yeah, the Vikings are missing a couple of weapons, but don't ever take for granted Kevin O'Connell and his play calling. He is one of the best in the NFL to do it. It's going to be a tough battle, especially with Brian Flores on the opposite end of the ball, being the highest defensive coordinator the highest blitzing defensive coordinator, in the NFL. It's going to be a challenge, but I do think the Dirty Birds can come away with a W to get back to 1-1. Trey with the $5 super chat. Do you think they had Penix air it out week 1 to see what he can do, or do you think it was just poor play calling? 42 is a lot. I think it's a little bit of both here. I think what happened was they wanted to see how he could throw, so I'll bet you that number was about 30. But because the run game could not get going, and that's Zac Robinson's fault, they had to throw the ball more. So, yes, I agree with you. Throwing the ball 42 times, unless you're in an absolute shootout and your quarterback has 350 yards and 4 touchdowns, probably way too many attempts. So I'm going to say try to emphasize creating more opportunities for space in the run game and kind of limit MPJ to like 30 to 33 attempts heading into week 2 on Sunday Night Football. Jay Mile coming in with his question. Penix might get his deep threat back in week 2, and I'm excited for us to embarrass the Vikings and finally get some respect. Darnell Mooney should be back, at least in my opinion. I think the Falcons are missing him tremendously, considering, did you know this? He was the Falcon last year amongst all of the wide receivers in the room that had the best yards per reception. 15.5. He's a big-time player that makes big-time plays. I think his presence on the field doesn't just help Michael Penix Jr., but it helps the likes of Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Ray McLeod and Casey Washington. It all bleeds together. Because when you have a player that commands respect, it leaves other opportunities for your other players. Falcons for life coming in. Is it too early to start thinking about Zac Robinson replacements? I was hoping somebody was going to ask this question. Look, here's what I'll say. His play calling was way too predictable against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It got stale. It got sloppy. It wasn't nearly good enough. He's the sole reason, in my opinion, he and Younghoe Koo were the sole reasons the Falcons lost that game. But I'll play a little devil's advocate because he asked the question, and I always come prepared. Some potential new offensive coordinators for you. Declan Doyle, the offensive coordinator for the Bears, because Ben Johnson calls the plays there. Shannon Dawson from the University of Miami, who has completely reshaped Carson Beck. Brian Johnson, the passing game coordinator for the Commanders, who has done an excellent job alongside Cliff Kingsbury of molding Jaden Daniels. And Jason Vrable, the pass game coordinator for the Green Bay Packers, a coach that is also directly responsible for Jordan Love getting that massive second contract, because Jordan Love shows a lot of times during specific weeks that he could be one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. So these are just 4 names that I came up with on a whim right now on coaches that could replace Zac Robinson. We'll see. Should the Falcons replace Z-Rob? Yes or no? I know that all you Falcons fans are going to say yes. As of right now, I want to pump the brakes because, remember, it's only after week 1. We need a little bit of time for this to marinate. However, if we continue to see the same stale play calling, then I think the writing is on the wall and the answer is clear that, yeah, you'd have to get rid of him. Mr. King, who's, by the way, a Bucks fan. How many plays did Penix take under center last game? That's a great question. I have no idea. It wasn't nearly enough. Not nearly enough. You ran that pistol formation that Zac Robinson loves to run far too often. It was actually one of my keys to victory in my preview, which was play more under center, create more opportunities for Bijan, create more opportunities for Algier. The run game is your best friend. Stop trying to just be too meta and run all these different shotgun and pistol formations. Archangel, one more time. We're going to answer a couple more, and then we're going to tell you about our friends over at HelloFresh. Do you think the reason they passed more to Bijan is because they didn't trust their offensive line as much? I think maybe that's part of it because they were trying to get the ball out quick, but I also think that Bijan is going to be a player that they prioritize in the passing game because he is so good. He's such a dual threat in this league. Like, you have to game plan for Bijan Robinson. So I think you're right, but I also think there's a little bit more continuity and complexion to that answer. But appreciate you, Archangel, for getting in on the show. Let me tell you about our friends over at HelloFresh. You may remember HelloFresh, but not like this. This summer, they made their biggest menu upgrade yet. This is not the HelloFresh you remember. It is tastier. Get steak and seafood recipes delivered every single week for no extra cost. There's 3 times more seafood on the menu at no extra cost as well. Discover new seasonal produce each week, from snap peas to stone fruit and corn on the cob and more. The best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/FalconsChat10FM now to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/FalconsChat10FM to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. I will have all of that ready for you in the comments and description of today's video. Let's do 2 more, Mr. Producer Jack, and then let's get on out of here, shall we? Trey. Would you like to see Jalen Walker stay in his current position or be moved around? I'd like Jalen Walker to get in a 3-point stance a little bit more. I think he's so strong. He is a prime candidate for a predominantly bull rushing type of player. A bull rush is basically when you go face mask to face mask with an offensive lineman and just who's stronger. Push him back. I think he absolutely has that in him. He's not nearly as bendy and as shifty as James Pierce Jr., but that's okay because they're the yin and yang of each other. So Jalen Walker, I would like to see a little bit more on the line rather than lining up straight up in a traditional edge rusher stance. I feel like that's more of JPJ's, preferred method. But there are some interesting ways to move those two around. I'd like to see them on the same side of each other. Nick, last question of today. Do you trust Coach Morris to lead the Falcons to a Super Bowl championship win? If history is any indication, not right now. And that's just keeping it a buck. I'm not going to ever lie to you on this channel. I don't see it happening right now. Could that change throughout the season? Absolutely. We have no idea what the future holds. But from what I've seen so far and some of the close losses that the Falcons have had, right now, the fortune cookie says the future does not look so bright. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. Reminder to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you haven't already. And as always, rise up and be